Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to an Australia Cup watch-along. It is the round of 16 matchup between Newcastle Jets and Macarthur FC, the only All A-League matchup in the round of 16. Of course, it's been a crazy Australia Cup so far in the final rounds. Obviously, the round of 32, cup sets, drama, goals, action, and had everything. These two teams grabbed 2-1 wins against teams from the NPL New South Wales and NPL ACT, respectively. Newcastle Jets, a 2-1 win over Rockdale Inlandon. An impressive win in the end. They really had to dig deep because Rockdale Inlandon, top team in NPL New South Wales. Macarthur FC, they got the job done 2-1 against O'Connor Knights from Canberra. Both these teams meeting in Maitland today. We are very excited for this one. And obviously, this is a good chance to see how these A-League teams go as we shape up coming into the new season, which is just under a couple months away now. How are we feeling? Valhoon's in the chat. Josh is in the chat. Butter's here as well. I'm doing well, Joshy. Thanks for asking, man. Hope you're doing well. Also, hope everyone's enjoyed their weekend. This is our first live watch-along for a few weeks. We did a couple watch-alongs for the Australia Cup over the past month or so. We caught Perth Glory and Brisbane Roar in their playoff match. And we were live for Heidelberg United. Central Coast Mariners, unfortunately, my Mariners getting knocked down in that game. They are out of the cup. So all the focus for me is now on these A-League teams especially. Now, the lineups are interesting here. So we've got the lineups on the right-hand side of your screens, as you can see here, for the watch-along. The formations, I mean, we'll see how it shapes up for both of these sides. On the broadcast, I don't know if this was a late change. Randazzo is into the starting side for Macarthur FC, so it looks like Jake Holman's dropping out. We'll keep an eye on that one, whether it's injury or something. Newcastle Jets. Now, I'm very fascinated to see how the Jets line up because they've named so many defenders. And it was Matty Scarcella who started in midfield last time around, last couple of games, but he's dropped to the bench. Wilmering, does he drop into midfield? We'll keep an eye. Is it a 5 players at the back? We'll have to keep an eye on that one as the game goes on. But it looks like Randazzo is on the pitch for Macarthur as we have kickoff. Appreciate you guys joining me here for this one. Make sure to hit the like button to support the channel here, support the stream. Who comes out on top? Feel free to drop some predictions in the chat. Score predictions. Based on some of the polls that we ran throughout the week across the socials. A lot of people favouring the Jets in this one, which is interesting. There seems to be a real sort of exciting energy around Newcastle this season. Robbie Stanton, the head coach, his second season in charge. So he's eager to really build on what Jets did last season. They were good at passages throughout passages of last season in the A-League. A couple more players arriving, and I'm sure that there's going to be some more arriving throughout the weeks. There's rumours that they're going to be bringing in a striker from overseas. We remember when Jets had Becky Mikkeltadze a couple of years ago. He was fantastic. So if they could find someone of his quality, that would be a decent pickup for the Jets, that's for sure. Butter says, I just want A-League back to... I want my entire mood to be determined by 11 men. Well, we all want the A-League back. It's such a long off season. The Australia Cup doesn't... Look, the Australia Cup does a decent job of just, satisfying the appetite a little bit. But there's nothing like week-to-week competitive action. And it's getting closer. Round of 16. Underway today. This, of course, is match day 1 of the round of 16. 3 match days. Match day 2 is this coming Tuesday and then the Wednesday for the final few matches. G'day, Charlie, in the chat. How's it going? I'm doing well. Good to see you here as well, Charlie. Josh, he says, Jets seem to gel well, in my opinion. Yeah, the first couple games have been impressive. We look back to the playoff game. That 4-1 win against Western was very, very impressive. They cruised past Western in that game. And for Macarthur SC as well, I mean, it's worth mentioning that it was a little bit shaky for a moment against O'Connor Knights in the round of 32. They did concede first, but then 2 goals in the second half getting the job done for the Bulls. Jake Holman And Luke Bratton scoring. Bratton scoring on his debut for the Bulls. Great chance for the Jets early here. Ingham with a dangerous ball in. Callum Timmins trying to get on the end of it, but can't steer it goalwards. Hello to everyone who's tuning in for this live watch along. This is, I guess, technically our third live watch along of this new season. We did one for the playoffs, the round of 32. This is our first live watch along for the round of 16, and this fixture certainly stood out when the round of 16 fixtures were revealed. This A-League matchup. So we're keeping an eye on this setup here for Newcastle Jets and what it looks like. They usually do play sort of a 4-2-3-1, if you like. Potentially looks like Mark Natter sitting in as that defensive midfielder alongside Costa Grozos. We'll keep an eye on that. Let me know if you guys can spot anything, but it's quite fascinating seeing the lineup that the Jets made for this game. Robbie Stanton. I mean, really 6 out-and-out defenders. Tommy Aquilina has been playing a lot of his football in a wide midfield role for the past year or so. But if you include Aquilina, that's real six defenders on the field there for Newcastle. Butter says, reports of Phoenix are signing 2 players from Japan, a 32-year-old defensive midfielder and a 29-year-old winger. Chief, you spent the offseason in Japan. There you go. Maybe a little scouting trip. I'm very curious to see who Wellington recruit for this season. There's obviously so much attention and focus on Auckland, and they're building an impressive side. So Wellington, they were obviously fantastic last season. Lost a couple of players. Krajew's gone. Pennington's gone. Obviously, Paulson is the big loss. Finn Sermon is off to the MLS. So yeah, man, they're gonna have to do some big recruitment in the remaining weeks of the transfer window. Ooh, Clayton Taylor almost with a chance. Mark Natter. He's definitely playing a midfield, Mark Natter. He's definitely playing a midfield. We're going to have to tweak the lineup graphic. Wilmering looks like he is playing in his usual left back role. So that would suggest that it is Alexander Shushnya playing at centre back. We'll tweak the lineup graphic here as the Bulls try to get forward down the right-hand side. Mark Natter, look, to my memory, I don't know if any Jets fans can correct me here. I can't recall ever seeing Mark Natter playing in a midfield role. But here he is today. Slotting into, I guess, a defensive midfield role alongside Costa Grozos. So we'll see how Mark Natter goes there in that position. Joshy, sorry, I missed your comment a moment ago. What's Scott's first name, the Newcastle's goalkeeper? Charlie's correct. Ryan Scott, indeed it is. Spent a couple of years at Western United. Now at Newcastle as their number 1. Good chance here for the Jets. Lockie Rose, the former Bull. That's one of the talking points in this game. Lockie Rose, he was at Macarthur in their first ever season and left just a couple months ago. It was announced that he was leaving the Bulls. Newcastle Jets signing Lockie Rose for the upcoming campaign. Decent pickup, I think, as well, considering that Lockie Rose wasn't really a starting player for Macarthur last season under Miles Stojovski. And look, when he's going, he's a hard striker to stop with his pace. He's exciting. Wilmering with the corner here for Newcastle, who have made a bright start in the opening 7 minutes at what appears to be a rainy Maitland. This game being played out at Maitland, where Jets have played. They've taken a few games out there. The Newcastle Jets women's side took their semi-final first leg game there against Melbourne City at the back end of last season. Newcastle Jets also took on Brisbane Roar here at Maitland in the round of 32 last year as well in the Australia Cup. Luke Bratton, his new side, Macarthur FC, can't find Randazzo on the overlap. interesting time at the moment for Luke Bratton. He's obviously had a fairly successful time at Sydney FC over the last few years. And then, according to the man himself, I think he gave an interview, I think it was to 10 News or someone like that, Channel 10 or someone, talking about how he was phased out of Sydney FC. So they said he wasn't going to be a part of the plans moving forward. Wanted to go for a more youthful direction, which we are certainly seeing at Sydney FC at the moment. Macarthur FC giving Luke Bratton the opportunity at the Bulls. Wearing the captain's armband too, which is worth pointing out. So Ryan Datso starting here for Macarthur FC as well. Looks like he's got a bit of a free roll. He's floating around that left-hand side quite a lot. So Jake Holman out of the side. He was initially named in the starting 11. Bit of a late change. Good to see Matthew here in the chat. Says Wellington side goalkeeper Josh, and I'll try and get the pronunciation right, Oluwayemi. That should be it. Alongside Paolo Retre, Marco Rojas, as well as the previously mentioned 2 Japanese players. Yeah, Paolo Retre is a decent signing. Obviously, Marco Rojas, if he gets back to his best, that's obviously going to be a fantastic signing. Butter says former Knicks centre-back Michael Boxall is off contract in December, so I reckon he will replace Sermon then. Bit old, but still puts in a very good shift. Says Michael's brother Nico is on trial at Auckland. Ten minutes in, almost. Macarthur SC with their first corner of the game. What have the Bulls got? Looks like there's a couple of Macarthur away fans in that far corner to the left. Marin Yakalish, new signing at Macarthur, taking the corner. Spent last season at Melbourne City. Had a decent campaign. Probably didn't quite get the goals and assists numbers that he was hoping for, but played plenty of football at Melbourne City. No worries, Charlie. Yeah, we're definitely keen to stream for some of Tuesday's games. In fact, actually, it's worth asking you guys now because we've got a couple games on Tuesday. Couple A-League teams in action. 3 games in total on Tuesday. Adelaide's the late game because that's right. I think Wanderers play Lions. I'm pulling the fixtures up now. Tuesday. That's right. Wanderers take on Lions at 7:30. It's Australian Eastern Standard Time. And then we've got Adelaide after that too. So yeah, we'll probably do Tuesday as well. Definitely keen to keep an eye on Wanderers especially. That same night, I think that's when Hume City take on FC Melbourne Serbia. It is. Later this afternoon, we've got South Melbourne taking on Olympic. A lot of excitement around South Melbourne at the moment. Top team in NPL Victoria. Match day 3 on Wednesday sees NWS Spirit host Melbourne Victory. Moreton City host Perth Glory. Oakley Cannons Heidelberg United meeting in an all Victorian clash on Wednesday night as well. Charlie says, come on, Western Sydney Wanderers. Corner here for the Jets. Close to the keeper, headed away by Uskok. A player's gone down in the box. Is that a pen? Is that a penalty? It's a penalty. And the yellow card's out for Matt Yerman. No VAR in the Australia Cup, as we know. No VAR. So the decision's final. Let's have a look at the replay, dude. Oh, dude, was that an elbow from Yerman? On Alexander Shushnia, former Macarthur player himself, Shushnia. The replays don't really show the contact. But Newcastle Jets have a penalty. Yerman booked. G'day XL Sport. Yeah, the chat says, go Wanderers. Interested to see how Alan Stajic goes, his first season in charge of Wanderers this season. But Newcastle Jets will have a huge opportunity here from the penalty spot. Macarthur unhappy about the decision. Dude, I mean, they're showing the replays again that we can sort of see it there. Yeah, Matt Yerman sort of raising that elbow. I mean, when we saw it last season a lot of the A-League. Like, whenever you raise your arms, you're in trouble, you know? It's risky. It's always risky. Matthew, a moment ago in the chat, asks, Lockie, do you know anything about Andreas Kuhn, City's new signing? Not too much, only that he's played plenty of games in Austria's league over there. I think they call it the Austrian Bundesliga as well over there. Looks like a decent signing, has a fair amount of experience. So we'll see how he goes settling in. Andreas Kuhn. So here we go. Costa Groza steps up and Costa Groza scores for Newcastle. The Jets take the lead. There you go. 13 minutes in. Great start for Newcastle. Alexander Shushnia winning the foul. Matt Yerman. Again, that shot. Well, yeah. I mean, dude, looking at the replay, I tell you what, it looks worse every time you look at it. Yellow card's probably the right call. I don't think it's anything worse than a yellow. But the elbow's up, and the moment before the ball drops, Matt Yerman looks directly at Shushnia and then just directs the elbow towards his head. I don't know if you can have any complaints there. Now, something's gone on here. Valerie Germain is being walked back to the halfway line. We saw it a couple times last year, Valerie Germain getting really upset. They're showing the replay now. Germain and Shushnia coming face to face. Things are already getting pretty heated. But this is something, this is a reoccurring pattern. We saw it a lot from Valerie Germain last year. We think back to that AFC Cup match between Mariners and Macarthur, where Valerie Germain had a huge blow-up with the Central Coast Mariners bench. He's obviously an incredibly passionate guy, and we love to see that. But he clearly had a few key words to say there to Alexander Shushnia, who was fouled in the box. Again, though, I mean, like I say, I don't know if you can have any complaints about that. It's got to be a penalty, hey? You raise your arms like that, you run the risk. Newcastle Jets have the lead 1-0. Costa Grozos converting from the penalty spot. Matthew says, apparently Lawrence Thomas could be out with injury for some of the season, but have recently signed Jordan Holmes. Yeah, I saw something about that floating around online as well. Lawrence Thomas, hey, if I don't know if Wanderers have confirmed anything yet, but if that is true, that's a huge blow. It's a massive blow because Lawrence Thomas has been one of the best goalkeepers in the A-League for the last couple of years at Wanderers. And yeah, as you say, that Jordan Holmes was signed on, I think Thursday or Friday this week. I think it was Friday afternoon they announced the signing of Jordan Holmes. Decent signing. Former Brisbane Roar keeper. Was playing at NPL level in Queensland and now picked up by Wanderers. And maybe that's part of that. Maybe they were really concerned about that injury to Lawrence Thomas, so they quickly jumped at the opportunity to sign Jordan Holmes. Charlie has dropped a ladder prediction here. Let's have a look. Victory coming in at first. Wanderers second. Auckland in third. Oh, wow. Be cool. Phoenix fourth. Sydney fifth. Mariners in sixth. I like that top six. It's an exciting top six. Who have we got outside the top six? Macarthur in seventh. Glory in eighth. City in ninth. Jets in 10th. Adelaide 11th. And Roar 12th. Western 13th. I don't mind it, Charlie. I think that's some pretty good calls there. Melbourne City, that would be a pretty low finish for them. But yeah, man, the squad's looking real young this year for Melbourne City. Don't quite have the firepower that they have had in recent years, that's for sure. Victory in first. I feel like a lot of people, expecting a strong season from Melbourne Victory. Patrick Isnorbo leading the side this year. And have a really strong squad, as they always do. But having a strong squad has not always meant success for Melbourne Victory, so we'll see how that pans out for them in 2024-25. Wanderers in second is an interesting one, Charlie. I mean, Alan Stajic, we know he's a good coach. If he gets things ticking over early there at Wanderers, if they make a good start to the season early, then they could be set for a good season. Obviously, they just missed out on finals football last season, finishing 7th. Auckland in third is an interesting well there, Charlie. I mean, Auckland FC, some of their signings have been so impressive. I'll tell you what, after the signing of Alex Paulson, I might agree with you. I think that the signing of Paulson alone for Auckland is enough to, throw him straight into the top six. He was unbelievable last year. One of the best seasons from a goalkeeper in the A-League ever, in my opinion. I think a lot of people would agree. So yeah, man. Auckland. A lot of excitement around them. Mariakalish with a free header in the box. Sailing wide. So, interesting game so far. 18 minutes in. We've already got a goal. It's Costa Grozov scoring for Jets from the penalty spot. Bit of contention around the awarding of the penalty, but looks pretty clear to me in the end. High elbow from Matt Yerman on Alexander Shushnia. Here come the Jets. What have they got? 3 shots already for the Jets, just the one for the Bulls, that Mariakalish header. Took 17 minutes for Macarthur to get their first shot of the game. Interesting that Justin Vidic didn't start this game. He started against Rockdale Linden, grabbed 2 goals as well. You thought after that brace in that game that he would have been able to retain his place, but Lockie Rose returning to the starting 11 after he started in the playoff match against Western last month. So, Franz Delhi on the ball here. Another one of these youngsters at Macarthur FC who could be set for some game time in the A-League this season. Delhi, centre midfielder, started the game against O'Connor Knights in the round of 32 as well. Ollie Rodanzo obviously into the side today to replace Jake Holman late. Macarthur FC just trying to get themselves into this game now. They haven't really had much going forward. We've got a decent spell of possession here. Let's see if you can come to anything. Oh, here we go. Jets coming forward. It's Mark Natta, the defender. Oh, what a goal! Oh my goodness. Mark Natta, playing in midfield today, has just scored the goal of his life. What a run and what a strike from the young centre-back. 2-0 Newcastle Jets. What a start to this game. Just 20 minutes in. What a goal. Well, the giveaway in midfield. Great work there off the ball from Lockie Rose to put the pressure on Franz Delhi. And Mark Natta. I mean, that is a fantastic goal. Dude, this guy is a centre-back. Shifted into midfield today. We weren't sure where Mark Natta was playing today. Centre-back, left-back, midfield, who knows? Part of a back three. Midfield, wins the ball and scores a fantastic goal. Mark Natta. 2-0. What a start from Newcastle. And this is concerning already for Macarthur FC. Charlie says, honestly, one of the best signings from Jets Natta from Western Sydney Wanderers. He's done so well for them. Great pickup, hasn't it been? Yeah, I remember when he made his debut for Wanderers a few years ago. I think he was like 17 or something from memory. Very young. And then, he's really become a starting player here at Newcastle Jets. There always seems to be rumours, floating around Mark Natta as well, being so young. A lot of potential. Clubs from overseas interested. And here we go. If he can add some goals to his game, the interest just might continue to grow. We've seen some impressive play from the Jets in this game, the way that they've been applying the pressure high up the park and shifting the ball forward with pace. Macarthur leading the possession stats at the moment, though, 61%. But if you're just tuning in, you've already missed 2 goals. Grozov scoring from the penalty spot and Mark Natta scoring the best goal of his career. Macarthur FC. They're a bit shell-shocked. What have they got in response? Decent crowd in at Maitland. Very, very rainy day out there. Always good to see alley clubs taking these games out to more regional areas. Maitland's not too far out from Newcastle. 22 minutes have ticked by. This is the first of two games today. South Melbourne taking on Olympic FC for the second match in the round of 16 today. Games continue this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Keely Adamson back into the side here for Macarthur tonight. He missed out on the match against O'Connor Knights a few weeks ago. Young Joshua Demeski was starting in that game at right back. G'day, Darth Eduardo. I'm doing well. Hope you are as well. Newcastle Jets, look at them. Look at them rushing forward to apply the pressure. Yeoman has to clear for a Jets throw. Newcastle Jets, dude. This is impressive already so far. Can they keep it up? Newcastle Jets, they've never made it past the quarterfinals in the Australia Cup. Never. This is the 10th year of the Australia Cup. 9 previous editions. Never made it past the quarterfinals. Tell you what, if they can, they're already building a pretty decent run here. If they can keep this up, they could spring past the quarterfinals. They've got a really favourable side of the draw as well. The one different thing, feature of the Australia Cup this year is that we know the path to the final now. We have the brackets. And Newcastle Jets, on their side of the bracket, if they can get past this game, they have no A-League oppositions all the way to the final. No A-League opposition in the quarterfinal and the semi for whoever wins this game. Having said that, NPL teams have been very, very tricky in the Australia Cup this year. So that doesn't mean it's going to be a walk in the park for the Jets. But it is worth pointing out. You look at the other side of the bracket, you know, it's really heavily weighted in terms of A-League sides. Melbourne Victory, Adelaide, Perth, Wanderers, all on the same side of the bracket. So I believe all those sides could potentially line up in quarterfinals. But yeah, man, Newcastle Jets, they'll be looking to make a big run in this Australia Cup. Unless Macarthur FC can make a comeback here. Timmins with an effort on goal. Curto's behind it. Leo's in the chat as well. I'm doing well. Good to see you here. Thanks everyone for tuning in for this Sunday Arvo live watch along. We always love doing the Sunday Arvo live streams. A bit more of a chill vibe, you know what I mean? Charlie, great question. Could this be the first year an NPL team wins it? If it's ever going to happen, it feels like it could be this year. Obviously, we know Sydney United 58 made it to the final in 2022. Lost out to Macarthur FC in the end. But you look at South Melbourne. You know, the way they dismantled Wellington Phoenix, Heidelberg United 3-1 against Central Coast Mariners, Oakley Cannons 3-1 against Sydney FC. Look, especially from NPL Victoria. Man, it feels like the gap, the quality, you know, the gap in quality is closing and closing, it seems, which is great to see. You know, we want competitive matches all the way throughout the Australia Cup. Vujica with a bit of space on the left for Macarthur, delivering, but no one's there for the Bulls. Can they conjure something here, Macarthur? Dilly. Back for Randazzo. Back for Yeoman. So they've definitely had more possession in this game, Macarthur FC. Newcastle Jets, when they do get on the ball, they seem to be flying forward. Randazzo. Delhi. You can see how Luke Bratton is sort of sitting the deepest out of those midfielders. Oh, a poor giveaway, and Lockie Rose is springing forward. Not the first time today Macarthur have given the ball away cheaply in midfield. Ingham, bit of a heavy cross there. Just going to sail out of play. Oh boy, Matthew says, great signings, Mariners, Arthur De Lima and Trent Sainsbury. Oh, dude, I am so stoked with the signing of Trent Sainsbury as my dream signing. I think if a lot of you guys have been watching the live streams for quite a while, and it has been asked a few times, like what's my realistic dream signing at Mariners, and one player who I've always mentioned is Trent Sainsbury, part of the team who won the championship in 2013. I mean, so exciting to have Sainsbury back, and a great signing as well, considering that centre back position was maybe one where we did have to recruit in. The departure of Dan Hall is a big one. And Sainsbury. I mean, what a guy to come in as a replacement. Trent Sainsbury, Socceroo, and has so much experience playing all across the world, Europe and Asia. Arthur De Lima as well. I mean, very excited to see what he will bring to the side. Another one of these youngsters promoted to the first team for the Mariners as well. So who knows, maybe he'll follow in the footsteps of someone like Miguel De Pizio, who has become a real key player for the Mariners. Mariniakalish has brought the ball down, but good defensive work there from Dane Ingham. Always puts in a solid shift, does New Zealand fullback Dane Ingham. It's going to be another corner here for Macarthur, who would love a response in this first half to get them back into this contest. Yakalish to deliver the outswinger. Oh, he goes short. He goes short. I don't mind it. The give and go. Here we go. The set play from the training park. Luke Bratton, Marin Yakalish. They're just knocking it around. The delivery's blocked. Good defending from Newcastle. I'm having to go all the way back. Vujitsa sends one in. And that shot from Yerman will sail over the bar. As I realise, as this game goes on, I'm realising there's so many players on both teams who have played for the opposite side. You look at Newcastle Jets, I mean, Shushnya, who else? Shushnya and Lockie Rose have both played for Macarthur FC. And then for Macarthur, Matt Yerman has played for Newcastle. Ivan Vujits has played for Newcastle as well. I feel like there was another one I was missing. But yeah. Vujits up. Down the left-hand side for the Bulls. Working with Marin Yakalish. Yakalish looks like he's going to be deployed as a left-sided player here at Macarthur SC for his second season in the A-League. In Melbourne City last year, he was playing predominantly on that right-hand side. But left-hand side might work out for him. Allow him to cut in on that right foot. The slow build-up, the patient build-up again from Macarthur. Delhi. Good footwork from Delhi. Vujitsa. Look, they're moving the ball well, but Newcastle Jets are just doing a great job of covering the spaces, filling the gaps, and not allowing those passing avenues to open up. Crash Dog in the chat, how's it going? Says, how was Yerman not sent off? You reckon it should have been a red? Look, I tell you what, if VAR was being used in the Australia Cup, it may have been a red. It may have been a red, because when you raise the arms like that, the elbows, you run the risk. You run the risk. So, you might have a point there, Crash Dog. I mean, if it's a foul, if it's an elbow to their head, how is it not a red? We need better replays as well. We just didn't get good enough replays. It certainly looked like a foul and yellow card, at least. But yeah, you might be right. Red card might be warranted in that situation. Free kick goes the way of Macarthur FC. Ben Abraham, the referee in this game today. It was a clear red card, says Krasdog. It didn't look good, hey. I mean, just the way that, like, especially before Yerman went up for the ball, he looked to his right to Shushnya and then sort of led with the elbow. It was a weird one. It was like a weird move, hey. So it didn't look good. Didn't look good, but yeah, man, in the A-League where we did see a lot of red cards last season in the A-League. May have been sent off. No VAR in the Australia Cup, of course. Yakalish down the left. Go short. Ooh, who will this find? It's Vujitsa in the box. Can't get to it. Natta clears. Decent little spell here for the Bulls. They keep coming. Uscock's getting forward. They're pushing. The Jets are under pressure here. Jedrew cuts it back. They're just trying to look. They're like, What do they got? What have they got? There's a lot of movement here from Macarthur. They're trying to create those spaces, but they're getting forced backwards. Wow. Newcastle Jets again winning the ball. And look at the way they just fly forward. Lockie Rose is offside. Matthew in the chat says, apparently Hull and Stoke are interested in signing Thomas Waddingham. Yeah, he's been gathering interest, it feels like, for like the past 12 months now, hey, since he had that really good run in the Australia Cup last year. Like, wasn't there a rumour that Tottenham were keen on him? Hey, which would have been great to see, you know, Ange Postecoglou signing a young Brisbane Roar striker. So, look, that'll be a blow for Brisbane if they were to lose Tom Waddingham, because that's an area of the pitch they're really thin in, Brisbane Roar. Bratton, good forward pass. Rain Datso's under pressure, though. Newcastle Jets, man. This has been a really impressive half an hour or so of football. No worries, Darth Eduardo says, I'm glad that you're doing good. I'm good myself, but I got to go and do some stuff around the house. I was just coming in for a quick hi. G'day. Thanks for jumping in and saying, hey, man. Appreciate it as always. Jed Drew down the right-hand side, linking up with Rendatso. Again, just loses it. This is really good defending from Newcastle. Alexander Shushnya is bossing it at the moment at centre-back. Valhoon says, Aaron Kunder, too good for the Bayern second team. 2 goals last night. I mean, it's a great way to really get the attention of the first team once again. Obviously, we know Aaron Kunder was involved in a few preseason games with the first team at Bayern Munich, which was great to see. And there was maybe some excitement around the potential of him being involved in the first team for their first league game of the season, but involved with the B team for the opening weekend. But yeah, 2 goals. How good. Nestor and Kunda. Love to see it. Wilmering. Short. Taylor cuts it back. A block from MacArthur, and they'll come away with it. But again, it's given away. This is ridiculous now, but Timmins can't find a teammate. But this is, it's 3, 4, 5 times. We've lost count now already in this first half. If MacArthur giving the ball away a bit too cheaply, it's a worrying sign if you're a Bulls fan. Matthew says, apparently Dylan Wenzel-Halls will join Penang FC, and Dylan Ruiz Diaz, could join Wellington after following their socials. The following of the socials is always an interesting thing, isn't it? I mean, it can sometimes be an indicator of that player joining that team. We'll see. But Ruiz Diaz, I remember when he made a breakthrough at the Mariners a few years ago. That'll be interesting to see him back in the A-League. Oh, MacArthur. Oh, my goodness. What a save. A good effort, too. Jed Drew. The angle was tight. And Ryan Scott had to make an acrobatic save. Question marks whether that was heading goal bound. It probably was, though. I mean, the way that Scott had to get his hand down so quickly and save that. Great save indeed, Matthew. Great save indeed. So, under 10 minutes or so before halftime, we'll be playing griddle at halftime. Testing the A-League knowledge here live on stream, as we always like to do in our live watch-alongs. So stick around for that. Keely Adamson. Cross to Vujovic. Again, a wayward ball, but Vujovic manages to get himself in possession. Jakalic. Bit of space for him. That's silly. He'll want that one back again, Marin Jakalic. That was sailing out towards the corner flag, unfortunately, for the winger. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this live watch along today. This is our 3rd live watch along for the season. Did one for the playoffs for the round of 32. Now it's really starting to heat up in the round of 16. There'll be more watch alongs coming, so make sure to stay subscribed if you're keen to keep up to date to more A-League and Australia Cup content. Socceroos games coming up in a couple of weeks too as well. I put out a video a couple of days ago going through my Socceroos squad prediction for the upcoming September World Cup qualifiers. I added some interesting names, so maybe left of field suggestions for the squad in that video. So feel free to check that out afterwards as well on the channel. All right. Macarthur FC, 38 minutes have ticked past, and they've they've certainly been controlling possession for most of this first half now, but haven't managed to be too productive with it. A few shots, but I mean, the closest they come was that Jed Drew shot a moment ago. But aside from that, nothing has really troubled Newcastle too much. I mean, the defensive structure from the Jets, I'm sure, would have pleased Robbie Stanton in his first half. But the Jets would love to hold on here. This clean sheet give them a huge buffer heading into the second half against a New South Wales rival here in Macarthur FC. Valhoon says, Yengi back for Portsmouth 2-2 last night. Cassini Yengi. So much excitement around Yengi, I feel like now. It seems to be, I don't know what you guys think, Cassini Yengi, he feels like he is the starting striker for Socceroos now. I think he's almost taking over that mantle from Mitch Duke, who has sort of been the main guy for a while now. So, Cassini Yengi, man. Really excited to see how he goes this season in the championship with Portsmouth. Hopefully plenty of game time. And a couple of Aussies at Portsmouth, of course, as well. Sammy Silvera there. As well as Jacob Farrell, who I believe is at the moment injured. Jed Drew, low cross. Wilmering's there to block. And it's clear away. So Newcastle doing plenty of defending. After scoring those 2 goals, they're sitting back just that little bit deeper, but allowing Macarthur some time on the ball. Drew. Can't get past Wilmering. 5 minutes remaining in the half. You just wonder if that blow, the big ouch that Macarthur had pre-game, Jake Holman out of the starting 11. You might wonder if that's costing them here in this game. It's a huge blow. Jake Holman, one of their top players, Macarthur FC. And that's the kind of play that they're really lacking at the moment. The Bulls, that creative player in an attacking midfield role. But have they won a free kick here? Looks like they have. Franz Deli winning the foul. Franz Deli. He's been lively so far for Macarthur. Speaking of players who could sort of play that Jake Holman role, looks like Deli could be that guy. So free kick here. Now Luke Bratton is capable of scoring an absolute banger. And this is Luke Bratton distance. It is a fair way out, but he scored from this range previously. 3 plays on the wall. Bratton hits it. Oh, that required saving from Scott. It was a routine save in the end. Straight at the goalkeeper, but Bratton did really well there to get that over the wall and on target. Corner for the Bulls. Luke Bratton. So here's the corner. 3rd corner of the game so far for the Bulls. It's a decent delivery too. And the free header at the far post from Matthew Yerman, the former Jets defender, goes wide. So they're just starting to get a little bit closer. The chances starting to test Newcastle a little bit here. As this half ticks by and we edge closer to half-time. You just wonder what Mileta Joski, Macarthur head coach, is thinking. What's he scheming for the second half? What's he going to do to get his side back into this game? They did go behind 1-0 against O'Connor Knights in the round of 32. Managed to come back and win the game. They've got to come back from 2 goals here. You look at the bench for them. Not too much experience on the bench. Another youthful bench this time around for Macarthur FC. Again, another poor giveaway, but Franz Deli does well to win it back for the Bulls. Witzer. Again, man, Newcastle Jets just seemingly having the answer every time Macarthur get forward. You can see the way they're defending with sort of 2 blocks of 4. Callum Timmins dropping back. Lockie Rose is sitting pretty deep at the moment as well. Randazzo moving the ball around. Uskok goes long to the left. Don't mind it. Great pass to find Vujatsa. But the strength from Aquilina to get back and help out. And clear. They're sitting so deep, though. I mean, look, like the 2 forward plays for Newcastle in Timmins and Rose are just right in their own half here. They're almost just saying for the rest of this half, we're just going to sit back. You guys have the ball. Yakalish, nice little give and go. Luke Bratton's driving forward now. And again, Newcastle. No way through for them for Macarthur. Jed Drew on the right. Uskok to Yerman. Again, the slow build-up play. Yeah, I saw that somewhere, Matthew. That's right. Bozanowski trialling with Adelaide. That's an interesting one. 2 Ghanaians on trial there as well. Another one of those sides that need to make a few more signings, hey, Matthew. Especially in the defensive areas of the pitch. Centre back. They signed Bart Vreens, Dutch defender. So you get the sense that there's still a couple more centre back signings to come there at Adelaide, which is an area of the pitch that they've really struggled in lately, hey. Good day to New Jets football who's in the chat. What a start indeed. Must be happy with this one, New Jets. 2 goals for the Jets in this first half. They're looking good, especially in defence as well. Good defensive structure. Macarthur have struggled to break them down in the first half. As we just have the 1 minute added on, we'll be playing griddle at half-time. We're going to be testing the A-League knowledge here. And we've had some mixed results in griddle in the past few streams. So we'll see how we go today. So stick around for that at half-time. Would love to get your thoughts on this game and anything else in regards to Australian football in the chat. So jump in. If you've got any questions or comments, say g'day. Newcastle Jets very happy with this first half, though. Costa Groza scoring from the penalty spot. Bit of a controversial penalty awarded in the end, but right call. Macarthur weren't happy with it, but hey, you raise the elbow. Dangerous, man. Mark Natter with a fantastic goal as well for Newcastle to make it 2-0. The defender who's playing in midfield today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And that's half-time in this one. Newcastle Jets very happy after that 45 minutes of football. Macarthur FC, all eyes on them in the second half. What have they got? How are they going to respond? What changes do they need to make? They are missing Jakey Holman right now, I can tell you that much. But they just need a bit more quality in the final third because they are lacking that at the moment. Macarthur FC. All right, griddle time in just a second. Make sure to hit like button to support the channel. You can also consider sending through a super chat. All right. Jet in the chat says Newcastle owns Macarthur. At the moment they do, hey. They have been controlling them pretty well. After those 2 goals, they to be fair, they didn't have too much going forward there, Newcastle. After scoring those 2 goals. Did a lot of defending, but the defensive structure was fantastic. Matthew with an interesting question here. If you could pick an A-League All-Stars 11 with current A-League players, who would you choose? Interesting question, and it's a tricky one because obviously there's a lot of players who we just have not seen in action. Brian Kaltak's going to be in there, best centre back in the league for me. Who else would we throw in there, man? It's an interesting one. I'll just have to throw some random players in there. I think we'll go Brian Kaltak. I think Roderick Moran is worth throwing in there for Melbourne Victory. Because I was thinking some Mariners players, but like a lot of the good ones have left. You could look at someone like Ryan Teague. I thought he was fantastic last season. Probably Joe Lolly. Joe Lolly's in there, I think. I think he was great for Sydney last year. Who else would you put in there as well? Strikers. Probably Adam Taggart. Adam Taggart's probably an obvious one. Maybe Bruno Fornaroli as well there as strikers. But yeah, I'm interested to see like what sort of new stars show up for this season. There's going to be some players, as there always is, who we're not really expecting much from, and they just explode onto the scene. Whether that's like new signings from overseas that we're not too familiar with, or young players who have yet to make a name for themselves in professional football. All right. I think it's time for Griddle. Let's do it. Let's see if we can make this a bit smaller so you guys can see what's going on. So we've got Perth Glory, Newcastle Jets. What else we got here? Let's see if we can move this over. Perth Glory, Newcastle Jets. That's not Griddle. We'll see if we can get that back in a sec. We always love to test our abilities in Griddle, man. It's I remember we had one game, I think it was last stream, where I completely misread one of the stats, and that's why we got a poor score in the end. So hopefully we don't repeat that same mistake once again. Hopefully. It's Griddle time, ladies and gentlemen. So let's have a look here. Newcastle Jets, Perth Glory. We'll make this a little bit wider. Western Sydney Wanderers there, and we're looking for players who have 35 plus years on debut, which is an interesting one. And we are also looking for players who have played 5 plus final games and 0 substitute appearances. That's an interesting one. 0 substitute appearances. Okay. We can work with that. Let's jump into Griddle for today. Where should we start? I generally like to start with the tricky ones. 35 years plus on debut. Marcelo, I'm going to guess. Was over 35 on his debut. Ooh, 35 to be exact. There we go. 30. Wow, these middle ones will be interesting. 35 plus years old on debut and made a substitute appearance. I'm going to go. I could be wrong. I'm going Louis Garcia here. 3 sub appearances. See, that's a tricky one. 35 plus years old on debut and made 5 finals appearances. Again, a tricky one. Look, I'm sure there's been plenty of players who have been over the age of 35 and made their debut in the A-League. But a player who has played 5 finals games. So we're looking at a player who's maybe, played like a full final series, right? Well, no, that wouldn't even be a full final series because you can only play like a max of 4 games in a final series with the 2-leg semis. So they would have had to play. They would have had to have played a couple final series. Obviously not Milos Ninkovic, who was much younger when he made his debut. Adam Lafondra? My guess is Adam Lafondra, but I think he was surely younger than 35 though. He was 31, dude. We're way off. 9 finals though. That's tricky. We're gonna have to have a look at some of the answers there. That's a tricky one. That middle column. It's gonna stump a lot of people. 0 substitute appearances for Perth Glory. Ooh, okay. Now goalkeepers are probably the ones we can go for here, right? Goalkeepers. I don't believe Ollie Sale has come off the bench for Perth Glory. There we go. Newcastle Jets sub appearances for them. Ryan Scott, I guess. I don't think Ryan Scott, who's playing today, I don't think Ryan Scott would have come off the bench last season for Newcastle. And there we go. So that's there you go. You just go for goalkeepers in that one. 5 plus final games for Newcastle Jets. Let's go Hoffman. We'll go Hoffman. Surely he's played at least 5. 5 exactly. Well, 5 plus final games for Perth Glory. See, that's an interesting one because they haven't necessarily been a part of many final series. So we might have to think back to someone from back in the day. And we're going to go for Travis Dodd. I'm not super confident with that one. Oh, we were so close too. 4. He played 4 finals games for Perth, not 5. Damn. Western Sydney Wanderers and Perth Glory, a player who has played for both of those clubs. Plenty of options we can go for there. We're going to go Jonathan Aspro Potometes. There we go. And a player who's played for Newcastle Jets and West Sydney Wanderers. Well, we're talking about him today, of course, because he's playing. And the fact that he's played for both of these clubs. Let's go for Mark Natter. There we go. So we slipped on a few there. Let's have a look at some of the answers that we missed out on. Only 3 players. Patrick Zanzweig. Wow, I should have gotten that. One of my favourite players of all time. Patrick Zanzweig. 0 sub-appearances and 35 years old. A few there. Marcelo was in there. Nanny. Should have gone Nanny. Mark Bosnich as well, yeah. And then 5 plus final games for Perth Glory. Not many, hey. Not many. I mean, Liam Reddy, I should have gone for him. He's obviously the easy choice. Joel Cairnazy's in there as well. Andy Keogh could have got. Andy Keogh. Shane Smelt's in there as well. Wow. So we struggled a little bit of griddle today. That middle column's tricky, man. Very tricky middle column. We always love playing griddle as our little halftime entertainment. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this live watch log today. This is our first live watch log for the round of 16. This is the first of 2 games on today as well. South Melbourne FC taking on Olympic FC. 5:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. South Melbourne surely favourites in that game at home. Olympic will be pushing them all the way, I'm sure of it. But there's a lot of excitement around South Melbourne. And we look at the way the bracket's lining up at the moment, and they have a pretty favourable run. They don't face any A-League opposition until the semi-finals, South Melbourne. So they could make a serious charge in this Australia Cup run. But they have to overcome Olympic FC. 3 matches on Tuesday, then 3 matches on Wednesday remaining in the Australia Cup as well. Lions FC taking on West Sydney Wanderers. Hume City taking on FC Melbourne, Serbia. And Olympic Kingsway from WA taking on Adelaide United on Tuesday night. Wednesday night sees NWS Spirit play at Melbourne Victory. Moreton City take on Perth Glory. Oakley Cannons, Heidelberg United. Also on Wednesday night. That Wednesday night's huge, dude. That Wednesday night is huge. You got Melbourne Victory, who are surely huge favourites to get through over Spirit there. Moreton City, Perth Glory is an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I put out a poll earlier this week asking which out of there's 4 matches involving NPL teams taking on A-League teams, and which A-League team do you see getting knocked out in a cup set this week if you had to pick one? And I think Perth Glory picked up the most votes. A lot of people picking Perth Glory, which surprised me because they've been really impressive in the cup so far. They've been scoring lots of goals in the playoff from round of 32 matches. And I'd expect them, I've tipped them to get the win against Moreton City Excelsior. But hey, I might look like a fool because Moreton City Excelsior, one of the top teams in NPL Queensland. They'll be backing themselves against Glory. There could be plenty of goals in that one. And then you've got Oakley Cannons taking on Heidelberg United, 2 Victorian rivals. That should be a really, really interesting match. They both played in the Doherty Cup final last year as well. And 2 teams who defeated A-League opposition in the round of 32. So that will be an incredible game to watch as well. So really juicy round of 16. Sam's in the chat. Hello, Sam. How are you doing? Says, hey, Lockie, good first half from the Jets. Who would have thought that Natter was a fun, had fun in midfield and had that in his locker? Yeah, dude. Incredible. What a moment for Mark Natter. What a goal. I was stunned. I was like, where is this coming from? Who is this guy? And what have you done with Mark Natter? Because, that was an unbelievable moment there. Just the way as soon as he got himself on the ball and saw the space ahead, there was only one thing that was going to happen. It was ending up in the back of the net. The way he just took the ball, drove forward, and scored. Incredible. So it was really interesting as well when the lineups were announced pre-game. And we were wondering how it was going to look. Like, where's Mark Natter playing? Where's Shushnyar playing? Where's Wilmering? Basically 3 left-sided defenders named in the lineup. And it's Mark Natter playing in sort of that defensive midfield role alongside Grozos. I've just realised we've completely misspelled Grozos in the graphic. Apologies to Costa Grozos. Playing alongside Costa Grozos there in midfield. Fantastic. He's looking real good so far. It's probably adding to that defensive solidity for Newcastle as well, just having that extra defensive player in midfield. And they've got enough going forward. I mean, Lockie Rose does a lot of work. Clayton Taylor's always dangerous on that left-hand side. Aquilina has plenty of pace. Callum Timmins working hard as well in that sort of attacking midfield role. You just wonder if this is going to be sort of the starting 11 for Jets this year. Maybe. We were talking about it pre-game and the fact that they might still be looking to sign some players. Rumours that they're linked to a striker from overseas. So yeah, we'll see. Matthew with a question in the chat says, who else could Auckland sign? Who else could Auckland sign? I don't think there's too many other players that they need to sign. I think they've done plenty of their work so far. But off the top of my head, it's looking pretty well covered. Maybe a couple more midfield signings. There was plenty of big names that they were linked with throughout the off-season. I mean, Jake Brim is obviously a huge signing for them. There's probably not too many more signings that they need to make, to be honest, Matthew. I mean, the way they're shaping up at the moment, I think they already look like a really competitive A-League side. Sam says, I have a small feeling that this could be the starting lineup Stanton may go for in the season, with Natta as a defensive midfielder, as he has both defensive and attacking abilities. Yeah, well, we've seen those attacking abilities today, haven't we already? So you might be right there, Sam. It's an experiment. It is playing Natta in midfield. To my memory, I don't think I've ever seen him play in midfield. But hey, it's working at the moment. And as I mentioned, it adds that defensive solidity. So that might be the go for them. Especially considering that, Jets obviously lost Brandon O'Neill. He's headed off to Perth Glory. So they needed sort of another, extra defensive midfield player. They have signed Matt Scarcella on loan from Sydney FC, which I think is a decent pickup. Young midfielder. But Mark Natter, with his defensive abilities, to break up play. That could be a decent little role for him. Just ahead of the back four. So, players are out for the second half. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this live watch along. This has been one of the most highly anticipated matches of the round of 16. 2 A-League teams going head to head. The only all A-League matchup in the round of 16 as well. 45 minutes remaining, potentially more, if Macarthur can pull back a miraculous comeback. Luke Bratton wearing the captain's armband in just his second competitive game for the Bulls. Can he lead his side to a comeback? What have the Bulls got? Doesn't appear to be any changes in terms of personnel on the pitch for either side. As the second half is going to get underway here in Maitland. What appears to be a pretty rainy day out there in Maitland, but a pretty decent turnout despite the weather. Kickoff. Callum Timmins gets us underway. So Newcastle Jets, I mean, what a half for them, man. What a half of football for Newcastle. Team who, talking about those defensive, that solidity that we're seeing from them already in this game. I mean, it's an area of the pitch that they've struggled in so much in, over many, many years now. They just leak goals. They've really tightened them up. Oh my God, dude. They almost scored seconds into the first half. What a start there for Newcastle. Couldn't get the words out of my mouth there just before. Because the focus. I was talking about Newcastle's defense, but now all of a sudden the focus is on the attack. And I tell you what, if Newcastle get this third goal here, this is over. This is over. I know Macarthur came from behind to win in the round of 32, but a third goal here from Newcastle will seal it, surely. Even this early on in the second half. Jed Drew, what can he do? Talking about players who can unlock things in games, I mean, you got to look to someone like Jedru, who's got a lot of pace. And it's been an interesting battle on that right-hand side for Macarthur. Jedru coming up against Daniel Wilmering. Nice pass. Distribution was the idea was right there from Ryan Scott. Just ran away from Daningham, but I like the idea. I like the thought. Just under 2 weeks until the Socceroos are back in action as well. We'll be doing plenty of content around those games. They're taking on Bahrain on the Gold Coast. Great to see the Socceroos playing on the Gold Coast. And then away to Indonesia the following week as well. So we'll be doing plenty of content surrounding those two games in just under 2 weeks. Voyitsa down the left for the Bulls. Oh, this is a chance. Valerie Germain will be frustrated with that because he couldn't control it in the end, the French striker. Second year in the A-League for Valerie Germain. I think he had a decent campaign last time around. Did score a handful of goals in both the A-League and the AFC Cup. He's going to be so key for the Bulls this time around as well. So the Bulls have got themselves on the ball once again, and Newcastle appear to be sitting back in that defensive shape as they were doing in the latter stages of the first half. Chance for the Bulls. The shot, well blocked from Krotos. The shot comes in again, and it's in. Macarthur do have one back. That is the perfect start to the second half for the away team. 2-1. Who is it? Is it Marin Yakalish? High fives all around. Jedru with the initial delivery. Valerie Germain laid it off. The strike from Delhi. The cross from Yakalish. Valerie Germain tapped in. It's 2-1. It's the French striker. We were just talking about him. And Newcastle Jets have finally conceded. But that's far too easy. From a Newcastle Jets point of view, how is Valerie Germain allowed that much space in the box? Costa Grosso is currently getting a bit of treatment. That blocked shot straight into his foot. 2-1 indeed, Matthew. Great start to the second half for the Bulls, who look like they continued things in the same way that the first half was going. They got themselves on the ball. Newcastle Jets were shifting back, and they're showing that replay again. I mean, Valerie Germain just... A replay. Look, we've been praising Newcastle's defense and their solidity so far this game, but that was too easy in the end for Macarthur FC. The way they were able just to walk that one in. Valerie Germain, I mean, surely he has to be marked there. He was able just to waltz straight into the box and tap it home easily. 48th minute. Germain has one back, and I tell you what, this game is back on. Newcastle Jets started this half really well. Within 30 seconds, they almost scored. And I said at that moment, I was like, if Newcastle just score a third here, this game's over. This game's over already. All of a sudden, no. It's 2-1. And Macarthur FC. That goal is so important because obviously not does it only get them back into the game, but it gives them a bit of momentum, a bit of energy, a bit of a spark. You know, they were pushing, quite a lot towards the end of that first half. Wasn't coming to anything in the end. And that goal has given them a bit of impetus to get forward even more and get themselves back into this game. But here come the Jets. Wilmering. Oh, this is good play. It's good play. It's Timmins. Oh, just white. But that was nice from Newcastle. The way they're moving the ball forward is scary. Callum Timmins. Surely should have gotten that on target. Was it a corner? Oh, it is. It is. Corner for the Jets. And swinger. Decent delivery too, but no one's there challenging. Easy clearance from Uskok. How do you have no one there attacking the ball in the middle of the box, right in front of the goal? That's like the perfect area. They had a few at the back post, but the delivery was perfectly weighted just right for the middle there. No one was there to get an effort on target. So if you're just tuning in, if you're coming back from your halftime break, Macarthur FC have one back, courtesy of their French striker, Valerie Germain. Plenty of experience in the French top flight, Valerie Germain. Big signing announced 12 months ago. Decent first season with Macarthur. He's going to be a key player for them this season. And the experienced man stepping up big time to get his side back into this game. Wilmering flying down the left. Early ball is an interesting decision. It almost found Lockie Rose. Goalkeeper ends up with the ball. Good to see Fortnite in the chat. How you going, man? Good to see you here. As always. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday afternoon. Hope everyone has enjoyed their weekends, wherever you're tuning in from. Newcastle Jets, after conceding, have shifted up the pitch a little bit. Not sitting as deep, it seems. Adamson forward for Drew. Drew forward for Adamson. Macarthur using these combinations to shift the ball up the pitch. An interesting season last year from the Bulls. Milos Stojowski's first year in charge, finishing 5th. They started the season really well. They were one of the top teams at the start of the season, which they've done a few times already in their first few years in their existence, where they start really strong, but sometimes they fizzle out. They managed to hold on and finish 5th. And here's Valerie Germain, who scored his second. It's 2-2. Dude, what a start to this second half. Valerie Germain single-handedly getting Macarthur back into this game. What a goal. The French striker, what a strike. Luke Bratton found himself on the left wing. The cross in, the control in the chest, and the volley. Ryan Scott was not saving that. 2-2 indeed, Matthew. How good. What a goal. Valerie Germain was not going to miss from there. 2 goals in just a few minutes. We're not even 10 minutes into the second half. 2-2. Newcastle Jets have fallen asleep at the start of the second half. Wow, dude. Wow. I tell you what, we didn't expect this. Jets were looking real good, and I thought they were going to be able to control this one out from here. Anything can happen from here, man. Macarthur have all the momentum now. Crazy drama already in this second half. Newcastle Jets almost scored in the first 30 seconds of the second period. Valerie Germain with 2 goals already in the second half. Callum Timmins. Now this is really boiling, really starting to bubble. The tension in this game. Callum Timmins, in the space of like 10 seconds, was bouncing around like 3 different Macarthur players. And there's plenty of conversations going on right now. Timmins. Dude, what is going on right now? Timmins is like making some weird looking facial expressions in the direction of Jed Drew. There's a real sort of sense of competitive spirit to this game. Callum Timmins right at the center of it. Valerie Germain had a bit of a coming together with Alexander Shushniar in the first half. It may be, a couple months until the A-League season gets underway, but I'll tell you what, the heat is here. Mark Natter, Clayton Taylor, Jets looking to get themselves back in front. Taylor. Macarthur, able to get it clear though. There's a yellow card out here. Who's it for? I look away for a second, and there's a Jets player in the box. The free kick was taken quickly, though, because we're playing on. Dane Ingham was on the floor. Jets were like, nah, don't worry about him. He'll be right. Get the game on. Wow. What a start to the second half, man. 2-2. We could be set for extra time. If this continues, Valuchemin now driving forward. He is the player to watch. 2 goals in a few minutes for the French striker, who has single-handedly got the Bulls back into this contest. Fortnite, missed your comment a moment ago, says, so excited for your A-League vid, Lockie. Feels like it's been forever. Dude, very excited for the A-League to be coming back. It's still a couple months away, but yeah, man, the excitement is slowly building once again. Oh, they've shown that replay of that Vujacic incident. That's a clear yellow card. Another high elbow from a Macarthur player. It's an elbow straight into the head of Dane Ingham. And again, there's like almost questions of a red there. Actually, it reminds me of, am I not mistaken in thinking that towards the end of last season, Macarthur v Sydney FC, Ivan Vujacic sent off for an elbow on a Sydney FC player? It was late on in the regular season in the A-League last season. I think Macarthur, if I'm not mistaken, were reduced to 9 plays in that game, I think. Or maybe it was just the one red card. But hey, maybe not the first time we've seen Ivan Vujacic rise an elbow. But again, I mean, there's been so many little, there's so much evidence of just a real sort of tension on the pitch between these two sides. Both clearly want to make a deep run into this cup competition. Macarthur FC were knocked down the round of 32 last year by NPL South Australia team, Campbelltown City. Very disappointing for them that time around because they had won the cup the previous year. Of course, 2022. Macarthur FC's first ever trophy just a few years into their existence. Obviously a big occasion for the club. Heavy challenges flying in now as Jets try to spring forward, and that's got to be a booking. It is again. And that, if I'm not mistaken, is that now every Macarthur defender on a yellow? I don't know if Keely Adamson's picked up one, but Uskok Yerman and Vujacic are now all on yellows. I mean, it's as clear as it gets. It's a borderline rugby tackle from Tommy Uskok there on Clayton Taylor. And yeah, man. 2 meetings between these sides in the A-League last year in the A-League men's competition, both ending in draws. And it's 2-2 here as we tick past the hour mark. No changes in regards to substitutions just yet. But Robbie Stanton and Milos Dejovski are sure are planning moves on the bench as we speak. It's interesting for both teams too. You look at their benches and it's youthful setups for both teams. Possession stats are being shown on the broadcast. 66%. So 2/3 of possession for Macarthur FC. 2/3. Yakalish, Vujacic. In the second half, it's finally clicked for them. They've been able to turn that possession into goals. 2 goals in a few minutes for Macarthur FC. That's some nice play now. Yakalish will let that roll for a corner. And as we pass this hour mark, there's a really sense that the momentum is swinging the way of the away team. Macarthur FC is a real test here for Newcastle. They did so well in that first half to say strong defensively. But they've started leaking a little bit in the second half, and they've got to shore up things now and try and get themselves back into this one in terms of some, just get some momentum, some time on the ball. There's another shot flying in from Darren Datso this time. It flies wide. Ten shots for Newcastle, 11 for Macarthur. There you go. Pretty even when it comes to that statistic. A lot of those shots for Newcastle coming in the early stages of that first half, that's for sure. They definitely started the brighter of the two sides in this game. Oh, Valérie Germain almost coming through to the French striker. He's on a hat-trick, the Frenchman. Good win of the possession by Wilmering. Jets can drive forward again here. Again, a wayward pass. Look at the numbers getting forward now for Macarthur. They know Jets are going to sit back. They know they're going to sit deep and defend. It's allowing these Bulls players to get further forward, and it feels like that's something that Sajowski has tweaked in the second half. Just committing more players in more advanced roles. What can Newcastle do to get themselves back in control of this game? Because they've barely had any time on the ball, especially in the second half. Looks like there are a couple subs being prepped on the sideline as we speak. Eli Adams is an option. Attacking midfielder Justin Vidic scored 2 goals in the round of 32. He could come in as well. Here comes Jed Drew, though, for Macarthur. The cross is, again, a bit too heavy. There's been a number of crosses in this game that have just been so deep. Deliveries have not been there, and you wonder whether that's maybe still a little bit of, roughness in terms of the quality here. The play's still fairly early in preseason. Still getting some of the cobwebs out of the legs. Rustiness. Rustiness was the word I was looking for there, not roughness. You get the meaning. Still plenty of football to play. 65 minutes played in Maitland. Newcastle 2, Macarthur 2. Jets scoring their 2 goals in the first half, courtesy of Costa Grozos and Mark Natta. Lovely goal from Natta. And then Valérie Germain, single-handedly getting his side back into it. And here come the Bulls once again. And it's going to be yet another corner. This momentum, man. You just feel like this third goal's coming from Macarthur. The way they're just coming forward now with such pace. Yes, Newcastle Jets doing well to hold on still. But all of the momentum is with the away team now. It's going to be another set-piece opportunity. Short this time. Is that offside? Is that offside? No, it's not. Looked like the ball went straight back to the corner take. I was worried it was going to be offside. Oh, heavy challenge from Uskok. Out for a goal kick, though. Substitution time. We saw some subs being prepped for the Jets. We'll have an eye on who is He's coming off. Justin Vidic is coming on, and he's replacing Mark Natta, second goal scorer for Jets today. And I believe that is Eli Adams being prepped as well. It is. Lockie Rose coming off also. So interesting changes. That might suggest that Timmins might shift to a deeper role. Eli Adams, you'd imagine, will jump into that number 10 position. I don't mind that change from Jets, man. I don't mind that change from Jets just to regain a bit more stability. Justin Vidic, young striker, scored a couple of goals against Rockdale Illingdon in the round of 32. Was surprised to see that Vidic wasn't named in the starting lineup for this game. Lockie Rose was given the go from the start. But after those 2 goals, very impressed with Vidic's performance in that game. Here come the Jets. Aquilina goes short for Adams. Aquilina strike. Oh, what a finish. Jets regain the lead. 3-2. What a game we have on our hands here. Tommy Aquilina with a delightful finish. And it's the substitutes who allow the Jets to regain the lead. Justin Vidic and Eli Adams both involved seconds after coming on. And what a finish from Tommy Aquilina, man. Absolutely fantastic. The pressure was applied on Ivan Vujica, Vidic. The 1-2 with Eli Adams. Aquilina with the goal. Both substitutes involved seconds after coming on. And Newcastle regain the lead. This is turning into a bit of a basketball game. But there we go. We've got those couple of changes there. What an impact already. Those are 2 attacking players for the Jets, if you like, in Adams and Vidic. Great impact. Three-two. What a finish from Tommy Aquilina, a player who has started his A-League career playing as a right back. Right or left back at Western Sydney Wanderers, went to Central Coast Mariners for some more game time and was only there for about 6 months before heading over to Newcastle Jets, where he's been there for the last couple of years now and has been sort of turned into a right-sided midfield player under Robbie Stanton. And with finishing abilities like that, you can see what Robbie Stanton sees in him. To utilise him in an attacking role. We saw it. It's not the first time we've seen a fullback converted into a midfield position. Robbie Stanton did it a little bit with Daniel Wilmering last year in left midfield. And the previous Newcastle coach, Arthur Pappas, did it with Dane Ingham. He played him at right midfield quite a lot as well. So Macarthur FC, as we tick past 70 minutes of football in Maitland. And now back on the attack once again. Adamson trying to get himself involved on the front foot. Yakalish. Yakalish will shoot here. Oh my gosh! What a goal! Murray Yakalish with one of the goals of the Australia Cup. That is incredible. 3-3. What the heck is going on? Marin Yakalish. Insane. What a goal. What a strike. What a way to respond. Marin Jakalic with his first goal in a Macarthur shirt. An absolute banger. What a goal, and it's 3-3. It's got echoes of Perth Glory's meeting with Melbourne City in the round of 32. That game ended 5-4 after extra time. It's 3-3. The halftime score was 2-0 to Newcastle Jets. Newcastle will be kicking themselves once again, conceding a third goal already this half. Incredible strike from Marin Jakalic. We've got more subs coming on here. This time for Macarthur FC. Looking to get some fresh legs on the field. Randazzo's off. Drew's off as well. Walter Scott's on. Macarthur FC. Incredible the way they've gotten themselves back into this game in the second half. And as we just said before, real basketball feel to this game now. It's been so back and forth now in the second half. Jed Drew coming off for Bosniak as well. Another one of the young faces at Macarthur FC. Wearing number 24. So, fresh legs now for both teams as we enter the final phases of this game. I say that, but I tell you what, this game could go on for a little bit longer. Extra time could await us if it continues like this. Yellow card is out of the pocket of Ben Abraham once again. It's for Callum Timmins. It was coming too. Callum Timmins has been so involved today. In a physical sense, he's been getting himself about the pitch, making challenges everywhere. So we'll see. We'll get the lineup graphic back on the screen in a second. We'll see how Macarthur are now setting up with those substitutions. Bosniak appears to be playing on the right-hand side. Here's the free kick for Macarthur. Jakalic with the delivery. A little bit too low that time. G'day to Perth Glory Shorts. Good to see you here in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Enjoying a Sunday arvo. So it looks like Marin Jakalic might be shifting into that number 10 position. Don't mind that. After scoring that absolute weldy of a goal. And there's a look at the setup at the moment for Macarthur FC. Macarthur win the ball high at the park. This is a great opportunity. It's Jakalic cutting in. Oh my goodness, they've done it. It's 4-3 and Marin Jakalic scores again. This game is insane. What is going on? What? Marin Jakalic with another screamer. Oh my goodness, dude. 4-3. They won the ball out of the pitch. Valerie Germain finding Jakalic. And again, just backing off. Too much space, too much time. And Marin Jakalic with another stunning goal today. In just a few minutes again, we think of it feels like ages ago now. When Valerie Germain scored his brace at the start of the second half. More changes now for the Jets. Callum Timmins is off. Grimaldi's off. Matty Scarcella's on in midfield. We can't keep up, dude. Dude, we can't keep up. what is going to happen next? I mean, again, we thought the Glory City game was one of the most incredible games we've seen in the Australia Cup final rounds. 5-4 to Perth Glory against Melbourne City a few weeks ago. This game is getting close to topping it if it keeps going this way. This is quite incredible. Quite incredible what we're seeing here. Macarthur with an incredible comeback here. 4 goals in the second half alone. 4 goals. And 4 incredible goals too. Well, the first one, it's happened. But from there, it's just been banger after banger for Macarthur as well. Remember, it was 2-0. It was 2-0 to the Jets at halftime. We've got plenty of football to go in the second half, and it's 3-4 to Macarthur. And I just feel silly now. When I was praising Jets and their defensive work in the first half, the defensive work has completely vanished in the second half. This is incredible. Melbourne City Shorts, g'day. It says, where was this last season from Marin? It's a great question. It's a great question. He struggled a little bit at City in terms of scoring goals. He played a lot of football at City last season. But oh my goodness, this has been, what a match here it has been for Marin Jakalic. So much going on. You just, like, it feels like every time I'm going to look up, there's going to be another goal, you know? Non-stop action here in Maitland. The fans, it was very rainy. It's a shame it's a rainy day in Maitland, man. But I'll tell you what, the fans who are in attendance are getting their money's worth, that's for sure. 7 goals. And there's going to be more, man. We just know there's going to be more. Lineup has been updated. Philip Cankar is off the bench on to replace Grimaldi at centre-back, who was, maybe you could argue, at fault for that 4th goal there for Macarthur. Matty Scarcella is into midfield. He replaced Callum Timmins. Timmins was on a yellow card there, and Scarcella on loan from Sydney FC for this season. NRL on top, good to see you in the chat as well, says this is still off 10 minutes. 10 minutes left, and it's still 4-3. I have a feeling this might go to extra time. It's got that sense about it, doesn't it? You know, it happened in the Glory City game in the round of 32. It could well happen here, man. It's yeah. And again, a bit of a coming together here between Shushna and Jermaine. The yellow card is out. For who? Probably Jermaine for not giving the ball back quickly. Again, dude, this game is going to really boil over soon if it keeps going this way too. There's been an ongoing little rivalry in this game between Valery Germain and Alexander Shushnya. Costa Grozos. Nice long pass for Wilmering. Has to go backwards for Scarcella. Scarcella looking for an option. Newcastle Jets, they haven't been in it. They've barely been in positions like this throughout this game, hey, where they've been able to control the ball and take their time going forward. But now that Macarthur finally have the lead, 4-3, they're going to sit back. They're going to allow the Jets to come forward. But, hey, we saw what happened when the Jets did that. But here comes Eli Adams into the box. Walter Scott should be able to bring this away, and he does. Forward here for Jermaine, and look at the way Macarthur are now springing forward. The delivery. Oh, it's through. Oh, great chance for Bosniak. The young winger with a chance to score his first Macarthur goal. Arriving at the far post, so close. Melbourne City Short says Macarthur are cooking under the radar again this season. I mean, they've got the ingredients. Talking about cooking, they've got the ingredients to do it. Good striker and Valery Germain. I mean, Marin Jakalic is... I mean, we've seen what he can do in this game. I think they've got some decent midfield players. You know, Luke Bratton, Jake Holman. No Jake Holman in this game today. And look, they did it last season. They were a competitive side. They finished 5th Oh, the referee's surely he's got to stop play there. Ball into the feet of the referee. What's he doing? We said it when it was 2-2. Macarthur had the momentum about 20 minutes ago. Newcastle did get that goal back to give themselves the lead once again, 3-2. And then all of a sudden, Macarthur again, just rediscovering that momentum to make it 4-3. The Australia Cup admin on Twitter must be working overtime. X, I should say. On all the socials. Keely Adamson for Macarthur FC. Looking for a passage down the right-hand side. Newcastle Jets cannot afford to concede here. They cannot afford to concede. 2-goal buffer from here on out will surely be enough for Macarthur. I mean, nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. We've learned that, especially from the Australia Cup. This chaotic competition. Nothing is guaranteed in football in general. And that's the beauty of this game. Alexander Shushnya. Nice pass out wide for Wilmering. He'll give and go with Taylor. That's a really poor giveaway from Wilmering, and Macarthur are flying forward. That's the clearest yellow card you'll see all day, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, what? It wasn't even a foul? It wasn't even a foul? Wilmering was all over Delhi. And here come the Jets. They're going to score here, surely. Scarcella crosses it. Oh, and he's turned around. What's Scarcella doing? He thought the ball had gone out of play or something. He should have turned around. The ball came back his way. This is end-to-end action, man. This is wall-to-wall action. There's going to be another change here for the Jets. Aquilina's going to come off. Final change for this second half. Lockie Bayliss is coming on. Lockie Bayliss, who has recently arrived back in the country after a spell with the New Zealand Olympic team. Featured for New Zealand in the men's football competition at the Paris Olympics. So Lockie Bayliss is on that right-hand side for Newcastle Jets for the final stages of this game. It might only be a remaining 7 minutes or so if Jets can't manage to find this equaliser. 3-4. Incredible. This game has had everything. Macarthur preparing another double change as well. A bit of space for Adams here. Plenty of space for him. Bratton, a bit too far forward in his position on the field. Vidic in the box. The Bulls have plays back. This is a tense moment here for Macarthur. The ball for Scarcella. Has to do something with it here, Scarcella. I don't mind that. He was looking for that overlap of Ingham, but Scott's there to deal with it. So, 5 minutes left. Who knows how much injury time we'll have. There's barely been any stoppages, to be fair. There's barely been any stoppages. Obviously, just the goals and subs. There was that one short stoppage as Costa Grozos was being treated for injury, but there hasn't really been too many stoppages. Couple changes here for Macarthur. So Yanni Nicolaus coming on, right-sided defender. Looks like Joshua Demeski might be coming on as well. So Keely Adamson's off, as well as Franz Deli. Two players worked really, really hard today for Macarthur. So Demeski looks like he's going to slot into midfield. Yanni Nicolaus to right back. Another little coming together here. Bratton and Vidic and the defenders there from Macarthur, Yerman and Uskok. And I think they weren't too happy with the way Justin Vidic went over a bit too easily there. As those final changes from Macarthur, they got Demeski on in a defensive midfield position alongside Bratton. Nicolau will be playing in right back. It's always Bratton, says Melbourne City Shorts. He loves to get involved, doesn't he, Luke Bratton? Appreciate you guys tuning in for what has been a terrific game today. Crazy drama. Hit the like button to support the channel. You can also consider sending through a super chat. And make sure to stay subscribed for plenty of Australia Cup coverage. So, Newcastle Jets. This is the time for Robbie Stanton's Newcastle Jets to show what they're made of. Really solid in defense in the first half. Just a strong game overall in the first half for Newcastle Jets. Macarthur FC, it's been all about them in the second half. The second half, if you break down the score lines, has been 4-1 in this second half. 4-1 in the second half to Macarthur FC. I mean, the collapse of Newcastle Jets has been pretty remarkable. But they still have time to rescue it here. They're going to be hoping that there's a fair chunk on the board when it's lifted up at 90 minutes in regards to added time on. 88 minutes played in Maitland. The benches have been emptied. Newcastle Jets continuing to knock it around. Macarthur, minutes away from proceeding through to the quarterfinals and have a really favourable run through to the final. No A-League opposition on this side of the bracket. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, though, to be fair. I mean, plenty of NPL sides have been fantastic already in the Australia Cup. South Melbourne taking on Olympic FC later this afternoon. 3 games on Tuesday, 3 games on Wednesday in the Australia Cup round of 16. Nice pass over the top. Kankar will get to that ahead of Yakalish, though. Macarthur looking just to pin the Jets back here. Keep the ball at this end of the pitch. Oh, surely that's a handball. It looked like a pretty clear handball. Yakalish thought so. Shushnya sends it wide for Wilmering. Here we go. Final minute of regulation time. Taylor with a heavy challenge. He's gone down injured. Yanni Nicolau adjudged to have fouled the Jets winger. The contact was heavy. So, this could be the final chance here for Jets. This could be the final opportunity for them. Costa Grozos. A little bit too close to the keeper. Curto didn't come out for it, though. Macarthur get the clearance. Curto heads high. It's a bit of a head tennis at the moment. Jets have to start again. Tension. Tension in Maitland. The home crowd urging Newcastle forward. Forward pass. Down the right-hand side for Ingham, who's getting forward from right back. 5 minutes added on. 5 minutes. Is it enough for Newcastle Jets? The team who have traditionally struggled in the Australian Cup, never made it past the quarterfinals. A big win against Western in the playoffs. A 2-1 gritty win against Rockdale Illingdon in the round of 32. Now, just a few minutes away from their cup run ending in 2024. Macarthur SC, the winners in 2022. Could they be set for another big run here? It's been a real gutsy second half performance from the Bulls. One final change for the Bulls. It's a defensive one. Ollie Jones is on for the final few minutes to replace Marin Jakalic. So they'll go to a back five for the final moments of this game. Great game from Marin Jakalic. The 2 goals, that first one, an absolute incredible strike from Marin Jakalic. One of the goals of the cup so far. So Ollie Jones is on to help out in defense. Macarthur hoping to hold on here right at the death. Vidic trying to get something going for the Jets. Running out of time now. 2 minutes have already ticked by. Remember, 5 minutes of added time here. Justin Vidic down the left-hand side. Feeding it into the path of Taylor. Uskok is across to make the clearance. Solid shift from Tommy Uskok. Always puts in 100% effort. Long throw. Bouncing around awkwardly. Bratton's able to clear, though, does well. Shushnya. For Kankar. Look at the way Jets are really pushing forward now. No one's at the back. They send it long. Can they find the dream equaliser? It's just like Perth Glory, Melbourne City in the round of 32. The cross comes in away from Uskok again. Costa Grozos delivers. Oh, it's good. It's across the face of goal. How is no one able to get a foot on that? Philip Curto didn't claim it. Great delivery from Grozos, dude. Oh, my goodness. That's the opportunity, man. That was the chance. Jet says, how do the Jets blow a 2-0 lead to go down 4-3? That's right. I mean, it's quite incredible, isn't it? I mean, just thinking where we were at halftime, 2-0 to Jets, and it looked pretty comfortable for Newcastle. The second half has just been all Macarthur. It's been all Macarthur. So 1 minute left now. 1 minute left. 1 minute remaining. 60 seconds remaining for the Jets now, who have to throw everything forward. Otherwise, their cup run is over for 2024. Kankar, look how much space he has to drive forward. Macarthur is sitting real deep now. Delivery in once again. Away from Jones. 30 seconds, dude. 30 seconds for Newcastle. Another long ball. What has happened there? What is... Daniel Wilmering was in the perfect position, but just didn't jump. Has he pulled up with cramp or something? Daniel Wilmering. He must have pulled up with cramp. He's barely running now. But it looked clear, like a clear opportunity for him just to get the header on that. Newcastle Jets have 10 seconds. They just have to go here. This is the final moment for them. Daningham on the right. Needs a good delivery. It's deep. It's high. Vidic goes down. Still bouncing around. Final opportunity. Wilmering sends it in again. Drama in Maitland. And finally Macarthur get it clear. For some reason, we're still playing the game. Macarthur is springing up the other end of the pitch. Here comes Walter Scott. That's got to be full time. That's got to be full time. And it is. Full time in Maitland. Macarthur FC complete the ultimate comeback in the second half. In one of the most incredible Australia Cup games we've seen in 2024. What a match. What drama. Newcastle, I mean, a game of two halves. It's exactly a game of two halves. You got Newcastle Jets, who were so good in attack and in defense as well. Really impressive to hold Macarthur out. 2-0 up at halftime. Macarthur FC, just some incredible goals. Valerie Germain and Marin Jakalic both scoring doubles. Marin Jakalic with the goal of the game, an absolute insane strike from the winger. And it's 4-3. John, that's right. Well done to Macarthur. I mean, we got to give credit to them, hey, for the effort they put in that second half. I mean, they were pushing in that first half. They were just struggling to break down Newcastle. But the way they got forward in that second half and just found that quality in front of goal. Stats on the broadcast, 12 shots for Newcastle, 14 for the Bulls. It was pretty close in the end in regards to shots, but possession, though, 60% possession the way of the Bulls in the end. 60. Wow, what a game. The XG was pretty high for both teams as well. What a match indeed. It had all the spice to it. It had all the heat. There were plenty of moments of players coming together from the opposing sides. Two A-League teams who I'm sure are going to play some very fiery battles throughout this upcoming A-League season. Macarthur FC defeat Newcastle Jets 4-3 to progress through to the quarter-finals. Of course, the Bulls winning the Australia Cup in 2022. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This has been one of the more dramatic matches we've seen in the Australia Cup this year. 7 goals in the end, 4-3 to Macarthur FC. Stay subscribed here to Coastwatch Football to keep up to all the Australia Cup coverage here on the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We've got some more Australia Cup action coming up later this afternoon. South Melbourne taking on Olympic. And then we've got 3 games on Tuesday and 3 games on Wednesday. It's all happening. Guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. As I said, thanks so much for tuning in. My name's Lockie. This is Coastwatch Football, and I'll see you in